Initially, everything seemed to point to a simple answer. Alabama would name its starting quarterback sometime in fall camp, as it usually does. But as new information began to emerge, a second version of the story started gaining traction, a version in which, with less than 3 weeks remaining before the season opener, that decision had still not been made. And this is where the situation gets more complicated, because there is one specific piece of information stated by the team's own offensive coordinator that could completely change the way this situation is being understood. But before getting to that point, we need to go back to the beginning and understand exactly what is happening in Tuscaloosa. There are less than 3 weeks left before Alabama takes the field against East Carolina, opening the 2026 season inside Bryant-Denny Stadium. And so far, nobody knows who will lead the Crimson Tide offense on that first snap. It's not a lack of public information, it's that inside the program itself, the decision has still not been made. And the reason behind the delay is what has Alabama fans on alert. Offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb, one of the central figures in Kalen DeBoer's system, finally broke his silence on the matter, and what he said was not exactly a reassuring statement. It was confirmation that the clock is ticking. "We're getting close. By next week, we're going to have to make that decision," Grubb said. Close, but not decided yet. And that sentence alone changes the tone of everything, because it means that with fewer than 20 days remaining before the opener, Alabama is still evaluating who will lead the team in one of the most symbolic opening games on the college football calendar. But before understanding why this decision is taking so long, we need to understand who is competing for the job, and this is where the story starts to get interesting. On one side is Austin Mack, a quarterback with an impressive physical profile, a strong arm, and the ability to operate efficiently within the system designed by Grubb and DeBoer. According to analysts closely following the competition, he is a capable passer, the kind of quarterback who can sustain a high-level college offense. But there was one detail that may be carrying more weight than any passing statistic. Mack does not have the same mobility. He does not offer the dual threat ability to leave the pocket and turn a broken play into a crucial gain. And that is exactly where the name dominating conversations in Tuscaloosa comes in: Keelan Russell. Russell is being viewed by those closely watching the competition as the favorite to win the job. And the reason goes far beyond his arm talent. It even goes beyond what is normally discussed when the subject is choosing a starting quarterback. But this wasn't simply about his ability to run, because according to those same evaluations, Russell is also a solid pocket passer, mature for his age, and capable of distributing the ball to every area of the field. In other words, he isn't simply a quarterback who can run. He is a quarterback who also knows how to operate within the system. And that is where the situation took on a different dimension, because the difference between Russell and Mack isn't necessarily raw talent. It's the moment that that talent is required. Imagine the scene: 3rd down, 7 yards needed, the receivers and tight ends covered downfield, and Alabama needing a conversion in a high-pressure moment. That is exactly the type of play where Russell's mobility becomes, according to this assessment, the deciding factor. The ability to escape pressure and pick up the first down with his legs is something Mack simply does not offer in the same way. But there is another factor that cannot be ignored, and this is the kind of detail that only someone following the program on a day-to-day basis can truly appreciate. Russell spent much of the last 2 off-seasons working in the weight room. It was quiet work, but it reportedly changed his physical profile and his ability to withstand the demands of an entire season as a starter. Add to that his football intelligence and his ability to quickly absorb the nuances of the system created by DeBoer and Grubb, and the picture starts to come together. And this is the part that stands out the most. The assessment is that Russell would not simply be a quarterback capable of winning easy games. He would be the kind of player Alabama could trust precisely when things don't go according to plan, when a revamped offensive line is still developing chemistry early in the season, when the game is tight and one quick decision can be the difference between victory and defeat. But the final decision still hasn't been made, and that is what keeps the tension in the air. Grubb was clear. The answer will come within a week. That means Alabama will very soon officially reveal who will take command of the offense against East Carolina in the 2026 season opener at home inside Bryant-Denny Stadium. Until then, one question continues to dominate every conversation surrounding the Crimson Tide at the start of August. Mack, with his arm and traditional pocket passer profile, or Russell, with the rare combination of football intelligence, accuracy as a passer, and the mobility that can save the game when everything else breaks down? The answer is coming, and when it does, it will define not only who starts the season as Alabama's quarterback, but also the identity this offense will carry throughout 2026.